Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations. I am Uakeisha, and this is
Tikisha.
listen. It's been. We feel like we've been together for 5 hours already,
It does feel like that. It does.
doesn't it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we just been laughing and talking and eating.
Yes, eating. I ate today.
Yes,
My friends will be
yes,
proud.
yes. I made sure we gave you something to eat, but yeah, we welcome you all back. If this is your first time, thank you for tuning in. Um, Last week we left off. I mean, we had a great conversation last week.
We did.
We went from talking to about Rihanna to raising our kids, but we finished where you were going to continue a conversation, and I was like, "Girl, we got to stop because it get good to us." And I think your last words was "hurt people, hurt people."
Yes, hurt people hurt people.
And it was going into forgiveness. So let's touch on that. Let's just continue where we left off because I think that a lot of people don't know how to forgive. And do you struggle with that?
Um, I I don't know if I struggle with forgiving because I can tell you that I forgive, but you know that saying forgive and don't forget. But because I don't forget, I'm still possibly holding what we would call a grudge. So are you truly forgiving when you're holding on to something?
No.
Because what does forgive and forget mean? You see what I'm saying? Like when I forgive you, now I'm establishing a new boundary for whatever caused my feelings to be hurt, for this whomever to need my forgiveness. But I don't know if I forgive for real.
I'm going to say this because I've had
Let
to
me
learn.
say it's levels to forgiveness too. Because some people you might forgive what happened, but you'll never want them in your life again. It's just like, what is forgiveness to you individually?
To me, this is what forgiveness is, and this is what I've been studying. It's so funny because I saw, our TikTok University last night. This young lady was explaining it, and I was like, "That's it." Which I didn't even remember that we were going to continue talking about this. So that's just confirmation that we needed to talk about this. Forgiveness is part of having a renewed mind. You have to change your thought process about what happened to you in order for you to forgive. So I changed my thought process about what happened to me. Am I angry, mad, bitter, trying to get revenge? All of that means that if you have the same conversation about it like you used to, if your conversation hasn't changed, you haven't forgiven. So in order for you to forgive, you have to change your mind about what happened to you. It doesn't change what happened. It just you just have to change your mind about it. It changes your perception and your actions, how you react to it. And you know that part of my forgiveness on things that happened to me was releasing it completely. Which when you say release it completely, you basically change your mind about it. You basically, your actions to even how the person who hurt you, how you treat them, let you know how you forgive if you forgive it.
Okay, so I guess I do forgive them. So that's how I see it because I have a thing now where I try and analyze the situation, but I try and analyze it from a spot of why was this brought to me? What did I need to learn from this? Instead of me focusing on the person and their actions, what did I need to learn? What could I have done differently? Yes. Because I feel like everything is a lesson.
And it is because you do got to look at it like, what is my lesson in this? Or God, what did you want me to learn from this? Because I told you before, I don't know, when we first started doing this, I had told you about two paths that God gave me, and I took this path and I took that path. And when you choose the wrong path, because you got free will,
yes,
when you choose the wrong path and then something happens to you, and then you mad, you this, you that, But then you realize this wasn't even the path I was supposed to take
Be on
anyway.
anyway.
I wasn't
Because
even
it was
supposed.
always revealed to me. I had those signs,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
gut feeling, the
yeah.
intuition, whatever we want to call it, to know like I shouldn't have did that.
I
I'm
shouldn't have
sorry.
did that.
Excuse me.
You talking about the bird?
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
but yeah, you choose that path, and then you mad. Now you only renew your mind and change your mind if you really in God. People hold a anger and don't forgive and do this stuff for years and fight
And I was
and
that person.
bicker.
That's why I asked, like, let's define what forgiveness is, because I was that person,
Yeah,
like heavy on revenge,
yeah,
heavy on what goes around comes around, heavy on you hurt me, I want you to hurt. That's not
yeah,
my hurt people hurt people.
yeah.
Yeah, I was heavy on that.
I don't know if I was heavy on revenge because, um, I mean, during the all my
And I'm not gonna say like I was seeking out to do something, but I wanted you to have
yeah,
karma.
you want
Like
yeah,
I wanted, because I was hurt.
yeah,
I wanted you to hurt.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think growing up with somebody, I wanted revenge, revenge, revenge. But when I went through, I use the example of my divorce, the second one.
Okay, I'm not ready. Go ahead.
Right. But I'll say this. Um, in the beginning, we were bickering back and forth, bickering back and forth. And this is when I started turning to God like, why am I going through this? Why, and things were being done to me that I was like, man, I remember when Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, I don't know if you all into that story when they was married,
Yeah, I remember when they was married.
when he cheated on her with Angelina Jolie and he was on the cover of the magazine and Jennifer Aniston was like, he's missing a sensitivity chip. And that's almost how I felt because, ain't nothing I'm saying a lie. Um, there was a faulty stage play made about me. There was, things said about me, and I had to be quiet in that season. And you know how hard that is to sit and have to be quiet when you felt like you've been done wrong. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
And it was like the beginning of God showing me this is your steps to forgiveness because you have to be quiet. And then finally, when, I'm going about my life and this, I'm talking about years ago, this ain't like nothing new. We passed that. But when I fully surrendered to God and renewed my mind completely, was when it was like my actions toward the people who did me wrong are not the same actions that I had before. It was levels to sitting in silence and just let people do you wrong.
Yeah, because I'm not on no get back now. It's just like when stuff happened, it just happened, and I just move on because now I take it as God is revealing something to me, and I'm just gonna act accordingly and move on. I'm not like, at home like, oh my God, I wish this, or or I'm deliberately trying to do something to sabotage somebody. I'm not doing anything like that.
No.
But I was thinking about this yesterday, I believe, and you know how I shared some of the things that with you, not on camera, about my conversations with Jordan and how that bothered me. And I told you how, I apologized to him specifically stating that.
Yes.
And I thought about my childhood and the things that I heard my parents say. And even though I knew it was wrong at that time, I did not know that at some point I would be replicating exactly what
those actions,
witnessed.
Yeah.
And how we said earlier today, there's some things that our kids are going to do that we didn't do, and there's some things that they still are going
to do. Yeah.
And that I was in a stage where I didn't know better. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more for people when I think about hurt people, because sometimes it's based on what you were around and what you were raised. So we both can attest to gossiping. Everybody has gossip or been around gossiping. So when I grew up and I'm hearing this gossiping, I did not know that this was a bad thing for me, where we're sitting talking about other women, men, whatever we're talking about, sharing these stories, laughing, and doing these things behind the other person's back. This is just something that I grew up and witnessed.
It was normal.
It was normal. So I remember in elementary school, back when I would say I had a best friend, I had this best friend. And her and I had some conflict, and we were letter writers back in the day. So I remember writing a letter, and I remember my mother had said some things, and I remember writing about the things that my mother had said, because my mother had said some things about her mother, which I didn't know at the time. Now that I'm older and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this was all bad. And I remember, like, when me and a friend, whatever conflict we had, me writing about it to another friend. And then that got back to that friend, and our relationship was never the same. And we ended up reconnecting in adulthood, but we never talked about that, of course, and we were never back like the besties that we were, hung out a few times with other friends, because we have a friend group. But it's just like, now that I'm older and I'm looking back, I was just like, I can only imagine if someone was writing a letter, disclose some things that my mother has said, or their mother has said, and they was talking about my mother, how I would feel. But at the time, I didn't know. So here I am starting to hurt people based on what I saw. That's why now it's just like, I don't want to engage in conversation like, oh, look at her, she ain't even that cute, or this, that, and the other, because we all got different tastes. I'm ugly to somebody, just not to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be for real. Like, it's somebody right now, because like I told you, I'm like, they don't look like a boy, but when I was in the mirror, I was like, oh, girl, you cute. So I'm just like, people gonna say what they're going to say, but the cycle of hurt people starts when you're very young, from the things that you witness that you're doing, that you don't even realize it's wrong.
That's why I am intentional about how I am and things I say about and around my children.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to break multiple generational curses.
Yes.
And not just about the way you look, or I'm trying to, break so many curses about love, about relationships, about school, about family. And that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And the thing about my children they are very aware. And when I do say something that is not, they will make it known, like, you say that all the time, or you shouldn't say that. And I'll be looking like, do I say that all the time? And I don't have any problem learning from them, because I make them aware. So
I love the fact that you're at this age and they're still at an age whereas they're going into adulthood, so they'll be a lot more prepared than what I was able to do for my son with having him at 19.
Yeah.
Although I did a fabulous job, and I'm still here accessible for him, and I am giving him the knowledge as I receive it. It's just like, if knowing what we know earlier, how drastically our lives would be.
Baby, when I tell my kids about, because I always say I had a great childhood. I was raised in a pretty good family, and I got a huge extended family. We all love each other. Some of us don't get along, and just how it is with families. But when I think about different things that I was not taught, and like you said, the conversations I sat around or knew or heard, or even in the church.
Because it wasn't always grown folks' business.
It wasn't always grown folks'
business. And then it's just like, stay out of grown folks' business. But I'm right here with y'all. I hear it all. I might not be able to comment, but I hear everything y'all saying.
Yeah, hear it. And it's just different now. I mean, you had Jordan when you were 19, at a time where you were still learning.
I was still learning.
I mean, we don't ever stop learning, but you literally
was
still a child.
Teenager.
Yeah, you were still a child. So I say you were a great mother, you still is, because at 19, the things that you did do, people who had kids at 19 were not doing that. So I think I commend you because I think you raised an
Because
extremely
the one thing
well-rounded
that I
son.
can say that I'm very proud of is I've always made him my number one priority.
You did.
Always.
You did. And listen, girl,
that's why I'm ready to get out here now.
And I was just about to say
I miss that childhood type of stuff. So that's why I'm just like, I remember when my friend took me to what's that circus that used to come down at Shane Park all the time?
Circus.
Yeah. Like I was so excited because I had never took Jordan to that particular thing. So it's so many childlike things that I like to do.
You know what? You also didn't do this that a lot of single mothers, including myself, I don't do. Is you did not have a now Jordan, as he got older, knew that you dated, but you didn't have a revolving door of men.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I have been the same way. My kids, you know, they haven't seen revolving door of men, and it's so funny. This podcast is out. I don't know if you saw this. This guy asked the lady of the podcast who's a single mother. I don't know if he was trying to date her or what, but it's trending that he asked her, how are your kids going to be an asset to me if I date you? And when I say I was pissed when I saw that, because, and a lot of people pissed, because I'm like, as a single mother, the one thing you better not ever ask me is how my kids going to be an asset to you. Because that made me think, first of all, are you a pedo?
Yeah.
You know, my kids ain't for you. They're not for you. What they gonna do for you?
Right. What does that mean? What does that mean? It has to be an asset.
And he was just.
Let me let my future husband know right now. My son gonna be a liability to you, okay? Because I'm still treating his grown ass like a prince. So ain't no assets.
Ain't no assets. That's why I was like, you know, and my kids are very like well-rounded. Some people think Gabby a celebrity child. I don't know.
Gabby is a celebrity. I wish you would quit downplaying her and quit saying some people think. I'm some people. Gabby, you're a celebrity. Okay, she's a celebrity, and that's what we gonna call her. Okay.
But I be thinking like I did date this one guy that, you know, really wanted to meet my kids. Especially specifically Gabby, and I had to let his ass go because I was like, why are you trying to meet my daughter?
Yeah, like, oh, that's weird.
Weird. But, you know, he had a desire to want kids so bad and all this stuff. That's another story. But as a mother, that's something that wasn't learned back then. We seen so many teenage mothers that had a revolving door and kept on.
I never did that. I don't even talk to Jordan about my relationship stuff. Like if I have a conversation with Jordan about my personal life, it's weighing heavy on me for me to really talk to him because you ain't my friend.
Can I say this?
What?
It's about you and Jordan.
Oh gosh.
You don't talk to him about relationship stuff, and y'all live in the same house. And I remember you dated somebody that never even met Jordan for a long time. And he would be in the house.
He would be in the whole house. Like, in the whole house.
I'll be like, they didn't walk past each other in the house.
No, okay? No, everything is calculated. No.
I'm so shocked. Like, every day I want to ask you, did they run into each other today?
Then it's just like you try to have a conversation with Jordan. Like, hey, how you doing? Like,
he don't want to talk. He don't want to talk. But that hurt people. We breaking them curses.
Yes.
We breaking them curses.
I wrote that down in my journal that I wanted to be the generational curse breaker. Because it's just so heavy and so much stuff. It's just because we really don't know any better.
And part of that is forgiveness. You can't break a curse until you forgive.
But like I said, I've been trying to look at stuff as a mirror. Like literally, what did I need to do to make me glow and be better? And look at myself and be like happy with myself and the decisions that I made. And we're not going to always get it right. I say that all the time, but I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying every day to get it right. And like I told you, it's been so many things that I just wanted to explode and go off, but I'm just in my silence. Like, I ain't got to worry about that. God gonna take care of it.
That's okay. We talked about discipline. I don't know. Was that last week?
I don't know.
Week before, whatever. That's what I'm disciplined in, is my forgiveness. I just thought about it. That's the area that God has really worked with me and put the Holy Spirit in me, and I'm disciplined with my forgiveness.
Yeah, I'm not. I work on it consciously all the
Yeah.
time because I think because I love so hard that when you hurt my feelings,
Mhm.
I just be like, I be all over the place. I be like on the who, how, what, when, where, because I love
I
you.
believe you have to examine.
But
Yeah,
then
you
I
love them.
remove that out of it because it's just like, again, where I'm at, everybody else is not at.
And then you have to examine the individual. Like,
that's what I'm
is
saying.
the relationship supposed to be? And we ain't talking about just love, boyfriend, girlfriend,
No,
whatever.
I'm
We're talking about friends, family, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to examine if that relationship is even supposed to be what you thought it
Yeah.
was supposed to be. That's
And
why it's
that's
easy
four
for me to.
seasons is really like
Yeah.
sometimes people just come during that time to teach you, show you, help you, whatever it is. Everybody are not forever people.
Some of y'all not forever.
And I think that that's a big thing that comes with the letting go.
And I'm okay not being a forever person in somebody else's life.
I am too.
Which is why I think it's easy for me to relate to that, because I'd be like, maybe I'm not their forever friend, girlfriend, whatever.
And I just got like that in my late 40s, like recently, because I thought that everybody was supposed to be my bestie for forever. Everybody that's in my life, like, why you didn't call me? Why you didn't invite me? You're my bestie. We doing this, we doing that. But as the older I got, it was just like, no. Even with me loving solitude and being by myself, it was still something about me. But that's what I had to work on. Yeah. What was in me that made me feel like I needed to be, a sneeze is getting rid of the evil. So we letting it all out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Things you learn when you be my friend.
Listen, yeah, I have become very disciplined in the forgiveness.
You definitely are.
And one of my friends recently said to me, like, I know you are healed and everything, but I just have a hard time with, certain things that and you seem like okay. And I said, well, you really, really, really like, no, God got you. And I ain't gonna even say, because people always be like, he got better for you. I just know he got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't particularly feel like, So
I was thinking about that word better. And I don't know if I had already blogged about this or not, or if this was just in my head or not on paper, because we tend to talk about better, but it's not about better.
Yeah.
I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We have different talents.
Yes. And we are different.
Yes. But it's not about better. If I have a $3,000 square foot house, it just means that it's bigger.
Yeah.
It's not better.
It's not better. Girl, my mindset on a lot of that has just changed tremendously from the surface level to
me too. It's so much stuff that I don't even.
It's gonna be. I don't even be caring.
I be wanting to get through the day at peace and just be happy. And again, I give so much to God now that when it do be bothering me and when it constantly bother me, I get in my word even more.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I get in my word even more.
And then I read something and it click like, oh man, why was you worried about that? Why was you thinking about that? Why were you, and even like with my home and everything and us talking about discipline, I've been getting up and my home is always so refreshed now because I just keep it orderly. I'm not keeping it stuff everywhere and not doing, I'm just doing things because it's better for me, not better to make it somebody else look at it like, it's
girl,
better
it's
now.
So gorgeous.
It's better for me. It's better for my children. It's not like I'm trying to make somebody jealous because it's better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get it.
Jealous thing. Right. It's not about to be jealous, to look at me like what I'm doing. I'm not healing trying to be a better person for anybody to even, because it'll be like, oh, you think you all good now, you high and mighty and all of that. I don't care what people say. This is for me.
This is for me
This
and my
is for
peace.
me and my peace.
I saw one of my friends last week. It's so funny. I don't talk to people often at all. I saw one of my friends last week and of one of the open houses because it's graduation season, and she recently got married earlier this year, and when we hadn't had a conversation in a while, she sat down at the table with me and talking. I just told her, I said, "You look so good." I said, "You just glowing." And not only are you glowing, your children, who's not this man's children, are glowing. Everybody seems happy. And I said to her, I said, "You used to have days where you used to look mean, like you don't want to deal with people sometimes." I said, "But now I have never seen you smile as much as I see you smiling." I said, "I hope you keep it that way." And she was like, "It feels good to be at peace." And I was just like happy wasn't envious of her because I just was happy because I know how that feel when you not at peace.
Yeah.
And
to transition into
and to
being
transition, yes, to transition into, because who she married probably hasn't always been like but when you learn and grow together, like, you know what, I just want to be happy. Let's just be good to each other. And I said, your children are even glowing. And I was like, that's something to be commendable. And and I told her, I'm so happy for you. And I feel like if you want your life to be blessed, be blessed to other people. I wasn't trying to get anything back from telling her that. But sometimes people need to know I'm not envious. I commend you because I see it. And where I'm at in my life now, I can always feel the energy of, I told you how I feel energies anyway. I know you do too. But I can feel the energy when something is just solid. Like, now, this ain't no show. I'm just really at a place of peace with God. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not better for other people. It's better for her and her family. It's better because it's like, you can't get jealous of that glow. You got to be like, let me get some of that. Let me rub that off on me. It's not better like to an ex that she had to say, look at me now. I'm better now.
And I think that's the key with back to the forgiveness is knowing that it's for you. It's not for them.
It's for you.
It's for you. Because essentially you forgiving yourself.
Girl, I'll see her. I was like, girl.
It's more about me forgiving me.
Yes.
Essentially, you're forgiving yourself. It's not even necessarily that person, because they may not even quote unquote deserve your forgiveness for what they did, but that's on them. It's for yourself.
Do you know?
Because how heavy is that to be mad?
Do you know what you just said? I'm not going to say the person who said it to me because you're going to know already. Said to me one day, you need to forgive yourself. Like, you too hard on yourself. You need to forgive yourself. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time. I know you already know who said it. And I was like, forgive myself? Like, what are you talking about? But when I crossed over to, really surrender to God, I was like, oh, I get it now. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Thank you for the message.
Yes. Yes.
It was like,
thank you for the message.
They was like, you need to forgive yourself. You are entirely too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself. And I was like, I ain't did nothing to myself.
Yeah, but you did.
But I did.
And we do all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Which is why when you really get into I say it all the time, authentic self. But you do. When you get into your authentic self, you let that stuff go that was holding you back, that was holding you down, that was breaking you down. And you let it go and you just be like, oh. And like you be saying, I'm a good mother all the time. And I got a text the other day, as your lady said, are you coming to this concert where Gabby went to? I was like, no, I'm not going to be here. She said, okay, I wanted to see you because you're just doing I'm so proud of you. You just always look so happy. And I was just like, that was so random, but thank you. And when you forgive yourself for whatever and release it, Because you got to forgive yourself first.
Yeah, you have
then
to.
You'll stop hurting people.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you feel like it's anybody that you need to apologize to?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
If I do, can you reach out and let me know? Because we can work it out. And I'm serious, because that's one thing. And I have said this to people in my life. Like, if I do something, I can tell you. If I do something you like, you ain't like it, don't be sitting and let that shit fester in your head. Tell me. I'm so easy to talk to. Now.
You said now. You know that you wasn't that easy before.
I know that.
And
I know that.
Even this week, I was texting you about something, and you were just like, where I am right now, I'm not going to say things because of how God is basically dealing with me. And I was like, man, to be intentional like that is what we really need.
Yeah, because I don't want to act out of my emotions.
Yes.
And being angry or whatever I'm feeling in that moment, because I don't want to 5 minutes later or however, the next day, whatever, that's time, it don't matter, is have regrets of things that I said that maybe I meant, but I shouldn't have said it that way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your delivery in the moment, in the heat of the moment, is hurtful. And it may really mean what you may really be saying what you mean, but how you deliver it can come off where it's just like, well, you doing this one, really it's like, all I want is you to spend some time and be with me. Instead of me just saying that, I'm accusing you from being out here making all of these other things a priority when I just want some time and I want to be a priority. That's simple.
I really believe God really preparing us for our real mates. Because I know how emotional I could be. I could be really emotional. And I remember times just I could hold things in because I didn't want to have confrontation. And
I'm
the opposite.
Throwing it all at you because come for me.
But when I would hold it in and then blow up,
yeah,
I can remember feeling all the emotions coming out like and then just be worn out, like, oh, I'm so tired from, like, literally wanting to lay down because you just holding in all these emotions. You got to know the difference between emotions and feelings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The difference between emotions and feelings. So
you got to know how to handle it. Because as human, men and women, we're going to have these emotions. These feelings are going to arise. But everything does not deserve a reaction. What did I tell you? I said something about, I'm not trying to react until God tells me how to act.
You did say that. You said that to me.
I'm not trying to react until God tells me how to act.
Because I said something to you like, you were well within your right at certain points to say things. And you was like, no, I'm not going to move. And I was like, that was a lesson for me, though, because, we do be thinking we got a right to say, I got a right to say this. I got a right to do that. I got a right.
Yeah, but what really gives you that right? I mean, we do have freedom of speech and all that, but sometimes it's okay to be quiet. It's okay. Girl. And when I tell you what I've learned about this silent phase in my life, there's so much stuff that works out on its own that I ain't even have to say nothing. Like, good thing I didn't say nothing, because look at it just working out. And it's just like everything. I cast your cares. That's what I'm doing. I'm not talking to everybody about it. I'm talking to my God that I worship. Mm-hmm. I may say something to my close individuals, because that happens. But literally, if I have 10 friends, I'm not giving all 10 friends that storyline. I'm not. And I'm not going to keep talking about it. So if I revisit something with you, it's a problem. And you need to remind me. We talked about that last week. So I'm going to need you to go in your prayer closet because we done already had a conversation on that, and it's time to move on.
Let me ask you this. This is kind of, it's the same subject, but kind of changing too. Do you believe that the mate God have for you is going to be, does he have to be on the level spiritually that you're on?
I do not think that he's going to be on the level that I'm on because of my gift.
Mm-hmm.
So, with which I believe we all have spiritual gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I have all of these clear senses. So I know that there's certain things because I didn't smell like I smell cigarettes in my home. So it then made me think like, what was I thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm instantly connected to my mother with her being a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
So he may not have that, and that's okay for me, but I most definitely want him to have a relationship with God and have some type of spiritual practice. And when I say spiritual practice, I'm not saying that he got to read his Bible every day, but he needs to have a prayer life, because you can't cover me if you ain't going
Mm-hmm.
getting your own covering.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, but I don't know if it's going to be as deep as I do, because nobody even knows all of the things that I do spiritually.
Yeah, I get it.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
get
So
it.
I don't know if it's going to be on
That
that level.
Growing up in church, they always preached about don't be unequally yoked, but don't be unequally yoked. And I always saw it one way, as far as when I was going to church, that he got to go to church and believe in
Can I
God.
cut you off?
Go ahead.
So I was thinking about the unequally yoked, and it's funny that you said that. But when I think about that now, I think about that in all aspects of my life.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I even think about that in friendships.
Yes, yes.
And when I say friendships, I'm meaning the basis of what a friendship is, not the status on it being mother, brother, sister, cousin.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever I intertwine and interact with, I think about being yoked with that person.
Yeah.
Because if I have these beliefs and you believe something different, I'm not saying that I don't respect it, because I do, but there is going to be a level of pullback from me because we're not equally yoked.
Yeah. That I'm
not about to be rolling with you and you a devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just feel like that, and I think that takes me to the soul tribe. It's a community of equally yoked people. Even though we may not all do the same thing, you may not light a candle when you pray, whereas I do, but that doesn't mean that what I do is better or wrong, or it's some sin or witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely believe that right there is the basis of everybody that's in my life.
Because when I grew up, when we would say we were dating somebody, the first thing that would be the question is, do he go to church? Because if he didn't go to church, you wasn't equally
yoked just because he wasn't.
Because he didn't go to the building. So now that I'm older and I understand what you were saying, that it's in like all areas of your life, just not if he go to church, is how do y'all handle business together?
Yeah. Everything.
How do you everything?
The companionship, but it's still a partnership too as well. It's a partnership.
So I was wondering, because the number one thing is his spiritual life. Does he have a relationship with God? I was wondering, how did you feel about that? Because I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, that's very important for me.
Yeah.
And it's very important to be aligned with my beliefs, because I'm not going to be yoked with somebody who is saying that they need me to go to church every single Sunday. Because that's not my thing. Yeah. We've already established that. And I'm not saying that I won't visit, because remember, I disclosed it's a church out there that I love.
I know.
So I'm not saying that I won't visit, but I'm not committing to that every Sunday.
Right.
I said I love this church, and here we are about to hit July, and I ain't been there one time this year. I have listened online, but I'm saying still. But it's in like, if he ain't got that, he ain't even coming for me. And I truly believe that, because if I didn't waited this long, I know that the things that I want and what I'm looking for is what I'm going to get, period, because I'm not accepting anything else. Like I said to you earlier, I want it yesterday. But if it don't come until tomorrow, that's okay too. But I know that it's certain things that I'm just going to tell you like, oh my God, Keisha, I just feel it because it's in alignment.
I think about because I know there are the equally yoked is levels to it for us too.
Yeah.
And when I was thinking about this just yesterday, I was thinking that I was reading, of course, my Bible and some other things, and it was talking about the summary of it was talking about a lukewarm Christian or lukewarm person in Christ. Like, do you want a person who's I don't want a lukewarm person because they are comfortable in their sin. I need a companion that is uncomfortable in his sin because I'm uncomfortable in mine. I didn't used to be uncomfortable in mine. I used to rejoice in it, enjoy it. but but not just that, but just everything, just I didn't have any second thought about it. I need somebody who is not comfortable in it. That if they and this doesn't mean that they go to church all the time either, because like I'm like you, I don't go, but that don't mean I don't worship God. I'm not comfortable in doing things that the Holy Spirit pricks my heart now.
Okay, so I'm thinking that I don't know why this is popping in my head. I guess because I put everything with a book. Because I'm thinking about the book and I'm thinking about the table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
The contents are what we want that person to have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like if I'm dating someone and he is at the club every week, I don't like that ain't my thing.
That ain't your content, she will. It's not. Because it's not. And that ain't been the content we want for a long time, even before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm going to tell you because, I know all my stuff about my rappers. I listened to a clip. I don't know if I said this. I think I told Jordan about it. And I was just like, and it stuck with me because Lil Wayne was just like, I ain't going to the club because I'm like going to the club. I'm going to a club because that's my job. Now that is something different. But if you just want to hang out, like, no. So it's certain thing because some people, it's just like with smokers. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm referring to a cigarette smoker. Mm-hmm. I don't want to smell that. Mm-hmm. So it's certain things that's just at the minimum level are just a no.
Yeah, at the minimum. Yes, but at the high level for me, at the level where I'm like, this is going to be a no, I need you to be able to cover me in prayer, cover me, protect me, and that don't mean you got to fight, but if you come to that, but protect me as, just make sure that I'm good.
Listen, and this make me go back to that asset thing because it's still on my mind. And then I need you to look at me like that as something that's valuable.
That's valuable. Yeah.
Me and my son, that's valuable.
That's valuable. Absolutely. And
you know what I want the most because I realized this. I did not raise Jordan in a traditional way. Mm-hmm. So some of the things that I allow, I've even had elders tell me.
I know.
Like, I would never. I know. I've allowed a lot of things. So that too is important for me that my spouse to understand my reasoning on why I've allowed certain things. And how certain things I know better now that I'm older, but I don't want that like, because we tend to want to push our kids out so early and you grown now and like, because having a job, car, house and all of this does not make you a man or a woman. Like that's just what we are. Like it's levels to adult. And again, just because someone else makes six figures and the other person doesn't, you just make more money. You're not a better person than me.
Going back to that better. Absolutely. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And
so when somebody hurts you, I don't know why this just popped in. It doesn't necessarily make you better than the person that hurt you. That's something else that we need to remember too with forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's just might be that because we're all healing. We're healing all the time. So it's certain areas that I may be healed at that you are. We just talked about that on our levels of discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back to what you said about the way you raised Jordan was not traditional. I never I always knew you didn't raise in tradition, and I never judged you doing
No,
that.
you never
I was
did.
just like, really? Okay.
Yes, yes.
I was, but there was some in that. It was a lesson for me because maybe not everything you did, but some of the things you did, I also do with my kids that are other people probably be like, yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no. But it's just between me and them. But I learned that like some of the things, but you kept him safe.
Yes. Yes.
You kept him safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the same way. Like your son has been safe and he's 29. So I think we definitely need to stop trying to push them out. I already said that mine ain't got to go nowhere.
Yeah, we talked about that. You see, I'm going to have that compound community and he going to have that house with his wife and my grandbabies.
Listen, we gotta stop pushing them out. But that's what I wanted to know. The unequally yoked is that because we're not pushing our children out. My child not gonna be no asset to you, but they're gonna be a part of your life because they're part of me.
But actually, it's how you refer to the word asset.
When he said asset, I was like,
because I don't think he said it right. I said liability because you need liability insurance, and that'd be the stuff that you pay for. Because I'm saying, son, husband, you're gonna be paying for me. But I'm just saying, like, the things in your life that are assets are valuable. We want assets. That's the net worth. But
the way
my kid ain't gonna be
no like, asset
no,
to you. Yeah,
no.
He said asset.
What is can you benefit from that? That's not what that's about. That's a part of me. You gonna love him because you love me, and I'm going to love yours because I love you.
Yes,
something that I never thought that I would be able to do because I was hard on that. Yeah, I don't want him to have no kids.
But you love kids and don't like them.
It's all at the
weird.
It's all the same. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
Weird. I understand it.
It's a weird.
Everybody don't understand it, but yeah, everybody don't understand it. But yeah, it's levels to it. So I was wondering about the unequally yoked. Yeah, because I was raised on that. Don't be unequally yoked. My mama always asks us when we start dating about he go to church. He go to church. He go to church. I'll be like, yeah, he go to church. But do you know the Lord was the question?
What's the question? That's the question.
Do you know the Lord?
Yeah.
Do you got a relationship with him?
Plenty of events. You just talked about how you went to the concert and didn't know the
words, didn't know the lyrics to none of the songs. So like
we can go to church and flip and not know if Matthew is in the front or the back.
And that's why I am so now like, do you have what is your relationship with him like?
Yes.
What is your relationship with him? Do you just believe in him? And you don't have no fear of him? Because like I said, I don't want somebody who's lukewarm because I'm getting out of that. I'm not going to say I'm perfect.
Right. I
don't want to say that, but I want him to have the same, be in alignment with me in that.
Mm-hmm.
In that where he feels, I feel I was gossiping and I felt bad after that. Or I was...
Remorse, is that the word?
Remorseful. Yeah, remorseful.
Because God placed stuff heavy on my heart when I know I didn't did, or even not physically did anything. Some of the thoughts that I could have, yes. It'll come right back like for real.
Thoughts, yeah, the thoughts. Like I think about things that I've done in the past and didn't have a second thought about it. Like I repent about that stuff now. I'll be like, Lord, forgive me. I do. I'll be on my knees.
Forgive me, Father, for
forgive me, because I'll be like, man, I did some stuff that I know was not pleasing, and I'm like, ooh, I want that to be a hindrance because you're gonna get, punished for your wrongdoing. But I'm remorseful. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I want a man that's gonna cover me in prayer and be remorseful as well.
Yeah.
And maybe when he's tempted to cheat, that he'll be like, nope.
That he just feel it on his
that he feel on his heart. That he feel on his spirit. And I
want somebody to love me enough that be like, I wouldn't even want to do that
I
to
wouldn't
her.
even want to do that to her. And first, I don't want to do it in God's
eyes
because it's wrong. Yes. Because in his eyes it's wrong. And because he blessed me with her and I love her just that much that I'm not going to do that. If you don't love me like that,
yeah,
I can't. Because I'm going to love you like that.
That's exactly.
I'm going to love you like that. And people be saying, that's hard. It don't exist. I believe it does.
I used to believe that it didn't, and look at me now, believing that it does.
But
the key, the core is with that right person.
With the right person. With the right person.
And sometimes we try to force people to be the right person when they're not the right person.
And that's where I fought because, you know, we talk about I'm the relationship girl. You've been you'll say not relationship girl, but whatever.
I'm the whatever, y'all.
Yeah, you have had relationships. I have tried to force things because they were nice. I've tried to force it and not make that the number one thing. And when I force it, it turned to disaster for everybody involved.
And you know what? It's the nice. And I think a lot of times we do these things out of companionship, but when you learn to be your own companion, and don't get me wrong, everybody needs somebody. I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
But when you learn to be okay by yourself and in your solitude, you attract the people that you need.
Yeah.
And also, you're not so willing to just take anything.
That's where I am now.
I love me too much to take some bullshit.
Yeah. That part.
Period.
And I didn't love me that much before because I always would overlook things that I knew bothered me. Like, maybe that'll change if I do this. Or maybe that'll change if I be this way. If I be nicer, or if I be more giving, maybe it will. And I was willing to accept things that let's say it wasn't bad, just something that I wasn't comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
But just to have the relationship. And now in my solitude that I've never had before, my solitude, God is hiding me and protecting me from that. And I know that. So when he does find me and he's ready, that it's going to be in alignment with what he wants. The solitude that I have now, the quietness, it's a different type of feeling. And I know you know the feeling.
Yes.
It's a different type of feeling. And I was like, we talked about this off camera before. I was like, I enjoy this so much that it's almost like you got to ask God to prepare me for the mate because I enjoy this solitude that you given me that I never had before. I enjoy it. And I'm like,
because at the end of the day, we talk about it, but bringing another human into your life requires work. It's gonna be some action with that.
It's gonna be some action,
and right now I like a low action life.
I do too. So I love the low action. No, nothing. No.
And we're still referring to having a soft life. Let me be clear.
Yes.
But it's just like I may have to cook on days where I don't want to cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I may have to turn over and scoot to the side on the days that I don't feel like scoot to the side. I always want to turn over and scoot to the side.
You know what? Listen, I was thinking about that too. Like, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that
be always ready.
Change. Yes, when you change, when you invite,
somebody in,
you have to change some things. Yes,
I'm prepared for it. But this season of solitude and quietness and forgiving myself and forgiving others has taught me something that I never ever believed that I would know.
Me either. And I guess I never thought about it until this moment on how this too is a helpful transformation for me with the not reacting until God tells me to act. Yes. Because if I am with my spouse, I ain't trying to react on everything because everything don't even need a reaction.
Yeah.
And it's been points in my life where I wanted to give feedback on everything. Everything.
You're like, everything.
Yes. Like, and it's just like.
Because you felt you had to. Or needed to. Or I'm not gonna let this go by me. I'm gonna say what I feel.
I thought that my opinion mattered so much and had to be heard when it's just like, not saying that it don't matter, but it's just like
something you learn the levels to it.
Yeah. It's a time and a place. That time and a place for everything that's kind of true.
It is. It absolutely is.
Because
true.
I might have been before where I might have embarrassed you out in public, and I'm never doing that. And this is a never where I can never say never unless it got to be something extreme for me to make a scene in public. I'm not doing that. I'm not acting like the 2-year-old child where the parent is embarrassed because they laid out. I'm not the kid doing that.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to treat somebody how I want to be treated. Yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody.
I was thinking about that, and we talk, and it was just like, I don't know if I said this before with that. The problem is we expect us from people.
Mm-hmm.
We want me. I want the people in my life that's going to treat me like how I would treat me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm expecting too much from you, you need to go to the person who's expecting less. As my friend would call it, the lower hanging fruit on the tree. Because that's a little bit more reachable for you. For me, you might have to jump.
Yeah.
You might need to get the ladder. I don't know how much work you're going to have to put in to get it. But that's the thing. I want what I give, and I deserve that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if I'm giving off some stuff that I don't need to, I deserve whatever I get back.
Because if they work for it, you better believe I'm gonna put in the work as well. They're gonna be just as happy.
The work is already starting now. I pray over my husband already, and he ain't even here. I have a notebook where I've written him letters.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice.
That
you're gonna give it to him?
I don't know if I'm gonna give it to him because I got so many journals that I told myself I'm gonna start writing one, using one, and just using it for everything. So I don't know if I'm gonna give him now. I don't know, but yeah, yeah.
I ain't never thought about that.
I write him. When I have like good days, frustrating days, the things that I would want to talk about, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just I'm glad that I'm learning that I'm getting better for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
And it just don't it feel good though? It feels so good and freeing.
Yeah. I'm getting better for me, not for somebody else.
And it's not for somebody else.
Or not to make nobody else
coming into my life. I'm doing this for me because I want to be good for me, and I want to be good for everybody that's already in my life too.
Yeah.
But it just feels so good to and like we said, we still healing and working on because every time a lesson presents itself, I'm like, oh shit.
Right. Yeah, but that's how you feel. Like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was gonna be a lesson.
Yes. So it's just like, how you gonna handle this, sis? How you gonna handle this?
Child, listen, when I say I have learned so much in just a little over a year about myself and about God and just about healing and forgiveness. It's like when you release and renew your mind for real, when you renewing your mind is just changing your mind.
Yeah.
It's basically just changing your mind about things, and you just really have to make the decision to change your mind. I don't look at my past friendships, relationships, or anything as something that is going to be. It's just part of my story. The chapters is gone, and I've healed from it. So now I speak about them from a place of love.
Love, yeah.
It's a place.
We had an hour.
We are, man. I'll be still talking. It's from a place of love, though.
It is for me too. It's from a place. I don't have any ill will intent. I got to burp again. I'm sorry. I might have in the past, like I told you, acting from a place of anger, wanting people to hurt like I hurt. I'm not like that now because I know we are hurting and healing. So I'm just, if I do something, I just, like I said, if it's somebody I do need to apologize to, hit the sister up, okay? Because really, It might have been from a place where I didn't even know I was acting from, that I even knew I had hurt somebody. Because I'm sorry, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I ain't trying to get hurt. I'm trying to be in just some peace and sitting outside listening to the birds and just chilling, relaxing, okay?
Sitting in the grass.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I hope you don't mind me being an earthy girl now, because that's what's going. I'll be outside all the time, not just listening to the birds. You done got me listening to these dogs.
I got all y'all.
Listening to these birds. Girl, the other day, my son, he couldn't sleep or something. I was like, go listen to the birds.
I was like, what?
He was like, I said, be quiet. You hear? Just listen to, and he fell asleep. For real.
Well, it's just like when I'm just trying to be relaxed, and I'm not trying to worry. When I say surrender. I do want to say that you look nice. I like your little butterflies, and I really liked. I told her in the car when she picked me up today how much I loved her head wrap.
Thank you. I was trying something new. But let me say something about this dress before we close. This is I don't even know if it's a maxi dress. Is that what they call it?
Yes.
This is a maxi dress. And a couple weeks ago, we had our first guest, Millie Goodwin, on the show. And this is from her line. It's Power in Jesus. And we can connect her phone number in the comments if you'd like to order, because she'll have no website. She was like, girl, I ain't got no website, but she don't mind us posting her phone number. And she has different styles if anybody would like to purchase, in different colors. And it's so comfortable.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like you have to wear something different every time on the podcast?
The vain side of me does. But what's funny is, I thought this was funny you asked. I thought about repeating something from your bougie.
Embrace
bougie, but that's not what the one I got. It don't say embrace bougie. It's the black outfit with I wore it early on. I was like, oh, I should wear this again. I said, but I already wore that. So I do be feeling like I want to wear something different, but I'm gonna start repeating, because it's certain things that I just like that I want to. Do you be feeling like you need to wear something different?
I feel like I have to wear something different every time I walk out the house. That's why I have so many clothes.
No, I ain't that
That's
bad.
why I said I'm healing.
I ain't that bad, but that is a part of healing, though.
Because you buy clothes. Clothes are meant to be worn, but every time I have an event,
you want to wear something.
I want to wear something new, and that's why I said that. That's why I was just like, so if I buy something for an event and don't go, sometimes if it's a new event, I don't even think about what I bought for something before. I'm buying something else.
Yeah,
that's a problem. I need to look into that too.
You have a lot of clothes. See. I have been doing that though. Like, oh, I'm gonna wear this time because I want to wear something different, and I haven't repeated, but I am going to repeat, because there are things that I like, and I want to promote your clothing brand.
Yeah, I got a gazillion. Because I have so many clothes, I probably wouldn't have to, but
I know. You ain't got to tell me.
But
I know.
But I was thinking about that as I was getting my clothes together. Like, I wonder if, because I know I don't want to wear the same thing. I wonder if she be feeling like that.
I have.
I wonder if future husband gonna be like that. If he gonna have a problem with clothes and stuff. Okay.
Well, you've gotten better. That's part of being equally yoked.
Mm-hmm,
the shopping and stuff, and the spending money. Yeah. That's part of the being equally yoked. The how you spend money, the how you save money, the how you pay bills, the how you trust and believe God.
I know what my homework is.
Yeah, all of that. So
this week on the news they was talking about people with shopping compulsions. Oh, we got to wrap up. We got stuff to do, y'all. It's been over an hour.
Listen, we want y'all to every end of the show. We could literally start a whole nother hour, literally. But we gonna stop. We want y'all to like, listen, subscribe. Thank y'all for the comments. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank y'all for the views. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this everything we talked about today.
Yes, what are the views on the equally yoked? I want to know. And forgiveness.
Yeah, forgiveness.
And how do you all forgive?
Yeah, how do you forgive? What do you think what do you think equally yoked mean? Leave it in the comments. Tell us. Because this probably be an ongoing conversation too at some point.
And for my fashion girlies, let me know what y'all think about repeating y'all outfits.
We will see y'all next week.